Positive things going on here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there is. We're not as bad off as down south.
No, I mean like just like helpful things, and there's good news going on around Pittsburgh. Today's wine, Farhouse wine, is Sutter Homes Chardonnay.
Yeah.
California.
Because we're alcoholics now because of this pandemic, which is fine. And Chardonnay is not sweet, but it is 13.5% if I'm not mistaken. And we don't have time to wait to feel that delicious buzz that we love so much.
So, as usual, I'm at Just Stay Chardonnay.
And as usual, she is Snickle Fritz, also known as Tickle Me Elmo.
Okay, wait, I got this.
No, you don't. You don't got it. I know you didn't have it. You don't got it. You don't.
Okay, introduce yourself, and then I'll go.
By now, y'all should know who I am. I'm Angelie TV. You are tuned in to House Wine. And if you don't know, you know now. And hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, tell a friend so that you can sit down and have a glass with us as we, discuss. What are we discussing today? What are we talking about?
We're talking about colorism.
We are talking about colorism.
Hold on, I got it.
Oh, Lord.
Hi. I'm Lindsay. Hold on, I got it. Follow me on my Instagram is McWilson and 89. No way.
Again, don't follow her. She doesn't know her name. And then she's not sure she gave y'all the right information. So don't follow her.
Well, how about this? Search for me.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Please don't make me search for her. Alright, so today's episode is about colorism.
It is about colorism. So let's talk about some experiences of colorism. Or we could talk about, before we go into experiences, we can talk about just the media and colorism. Because you see the TV shows and movies all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
TV shows and movies and like on the news or whatever.
In Indian culture, they say fair skin is better. That's kind of like where
It's kind of like when they cast these characters and these supposed to be like slavery shows, and they all is like dumb light skin, and I'm like, they've been out in the field all this time. Why would they be so light skinned? But they, that's what they want. Those are the images that have been portrayed as okay and good and pretty, when all shades of blackness are beautiful and pretty, but they have portrayed it as only the lighter color, the lighter shade.
Light skin people like, oh no, we want her because she's light skinned. She's more close to being like closer
That's
to
what they portray. That's
But,
literally the image they portray. They've gotten
like,
so
like
crazy with
in
it. Now
Bar-
they
like
you know
in-
Photoshop it.
like in Barbies, it would be Teresa.
So you know, but yeah, like everything that you see is, you know, if you go to a makeup aisle, most of the time if you do see someone of color, it's not a dark skinned person, it's a light skinned person, you know. Or if you go to the movies, you see these, you know, light skinned people with you know contacts or whatever, and that's the image that they're portraying as this is the standard of pretty. If you don't look like this, we're
But
we're
there
not
is some
interested.
positive. Oh, he was canceled recently. Tory Lanez was canceled recently because of that whole Meg Thee Stallion issue that they had. But before he was canceled, he did there was a darker woman in his video, and the director wanted to swap her out, and he got caught on video saying, "Nah, don't do that." Also, I think Wale's also really appreciative of. He has the. I'm so mad that his one music video will never be on any streaming services. It's called Black is Gold. I don't think he could have got. I don't think he got the rights to the D'Angelo sample that he sampled. That's why it's only on YouTube and nowhere else.
I like how JoJo had on her latest video. I don't think it was her latest or a few videos ago, but it was recent. How she had all different shades of color of black women.
Yeah.
And all shades are beautiful. All shades are important. It's black people period. We're not. It's I don't like how they call us black. We're brown.
No, it's definitely we're brown, but we're not going to get into what color are we. If we're identified as black, we should probably stick there, kind of. Because I guess they needed another word to differentiate between. Because there are other brown people, but they're not black.
Indians.
Yeah. I just think it's just funny how growing up, you know, you find a group of your own people that you know you identify as, oh, they're black, so they're like me, and then you try to incorporate with them, and if you're not the same shade, your own people will be looking at you crazy, oh, you know, you wouldn't know because you're light skinned, or oh, you know, you're too close to white, you don't, you know, you can't relate to us.
But there is a difference between the way people are treated depending on what their skin complexion is, even within their community, because there's always been a stigma attached to that.
The lighter is better. You know? Which is, it's crazy because we all go through same struggles, but it's just gone on for so long that people just ignore it, or they just, you know, they take it as a norm, okay, well, you know, I need to lighten my skin because I'm not going to be able to get anywhere or do anything unless I'm this shade. That's crazy to me.
People lighten their skins in other countries.
There's girls out here that are bleaching their skin.
There's literally this video that's out of a dark skinned woman. She has this lady literally bleaching her skin
just so she can pass, because society has taught if you're not this shade, you can't get anywhere. You know, just like you were saying, they're literally swapping people out in videos because if you're a darker skin tone, they're oh no, we want the other one. When I don't understand. I've never understood how that became a thing, and how, you know, within our own community we're teaching hatred within our own race. That's crazy to me.
But it's always been that way, even back when the slave owners would separate the later
you got
people.
the house niggas and you got the field niggas. And yes, I use the N-word because I can't.
They would have dark skinned people outside in the field. And they would have the light skinned people inside the house.
Because they thought that, that they'll make pretty babies. You know, that's sick. And then it just carried on till now. Like, we're just now starting to see makeup lines actually make
That's
shades.
because black people are actually starting their own makeup line. You gotta create your own spaces nowadays to make sure that things are, like, for the longest people were waiting for someone else to help out, and they're like, maybe, we're still having a lot of black first.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's so monumental about times now. It's sad, but it's also very monumental. Like, black-owned businesses right now are having a lot of them are having an amazing time right now because there's this whole black movement. The Black Lives Matter reigniting again recently. That has done really well economically for black businesses. I forget the number that was tied to it, but people are switching to black banks. People are going out of their way at least for 1 week out of each month so far to shop black. So
and that goes back to one of the other episodes we had where we were talking about, community love. And, I'm not saying don't support other communities because at the end of the day, we're all human. But we are one of the lowest, I guess you could say, binding communities because we're not putting our money into us. We're going to buy other races and other people's, goods. So we're not keeping that money in our community. We're not, supporting, these black shops and businesses that are aiming towards us. Like, that's what, and they go out of business and everybody's like, oh, they made like dope, whatever it is. And they're wondering why they went out of business because you're too busy buying other stuff from other places instead of putting it in our community and supporting each other, especially if we know there's a problem where you got your dark-skinned sister here that can't find an eyeshadow that complements her face. Somebody, was like, hey, let me fix that. But then if you don't have a lot of community support, you don't have the financial backing, you can't do it on nothing. All these things cost money. We too busy buying outside of our community. We got some beautiful people out here making, like, excellent products.
We're doing a good job right now.
We are. But I need it to continue. I don't want to just
There's a blackout week every month, and they've been pretty consecutive and pretty diligent. I like the Facebook movement.
Yeah. It's like, I hate the fact that it took this long to see so many people coming together. Like, our people coming together.
Can you name, like, a handful of, like, television shows or movies to start, like, a dark-skinned black person?
And they get killed off in, like, the first 3 seconds?
No, that's, like, the star of the show. Like, the lead. Even when it's, like, a family show.
Blackish.
Blade.
You said Blackish stars a dark-skinned lead?
It does not.
No,
Oh, well,
it
no,
No.
Anthony Anderson's not dark-skinned.
No.
I mean, he
And
kind of, but
even
he's not.
even the twins are not considered
I would
the
say
stars.
Blade.
They're supporting characters.
Yeah, Blade.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
definitely
daughter's
dark-skinned.
dark-skinned. How to
Sad.
Get Away with Murder.
But that's recent though. And it took her a real long time to be recognized on a level as a lot of
But they
these
don't
other
show a lot of
light-skinned-
young black,
Mhm.
like dark-skinned women.
Right. And when they do, isn't it crazy how it's such a big thing? Like, they make this big deal about it. I'm like, yo, she been here. Y'all just ain't been looking at her. She's been here. You should have been brought her to the front. I don't understand.
She's been making movies.
What's her name? I'm gonna mess your name up. I'm sorry, mama.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Lupita- thank you.
Lupita
Thank you.
Nyong'o. She's
Oh,
awesome.
But she's been in the industry. She's been out here working, like, tirelessly. And it's crazy how, like, all of a sudden. I'm like, she been here, though.
There was a great opportunity at the helm, but I do understand that the writer and producer of Blackish, Mixish, and Grownish rates loosely based on his life. He had great opportunity right there to do something with some of those storylines, and he came out with Mixish, and I was like, oh, he wanted to write about the plights of being mixed.
That isn't even
But
This is coming from a mixed person because, yes, I am mixed. So this is coming from a mixed person. We don't need to hear no more. We do not need any more shine. We hear, we get it, that y'all see us. But what about our other brothers and sisters that are not getting seen, that are hella talented, that need to have their stories told? You know, I just feel like, for me, there should never be a time where one subcategory of people is getting way more shine than the entire community. Like, why should it should never have gotten to light skin, dark skin. That should have never been a thing. Because at the end of the day, if you don't pass that paper bag test, you're going to be in the field with the rest of them.
It was pretty much instilled from day one.
Yeah, like, and we just perpetuating that. You know, these movies and these producers and with each other, we're just perpetuating this slavery mentality that light skin equals better.
Because dark skinned men, they get a lot of roles.
Yeah,
There's some fine dark skinned men, they get a lot of roles, but
as far as women, it's like, nah, you know, and I've heard this going to auditions. You know, not pertaining to me, but other people who were auditioning.
But
We're
it's
looking
like,
for something more exotic looking.
But it's like in
African
like,
is exotic.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Yeah,
this
but
girl is gorgeous. And
It's
you mean
like-
to tell me because she's lighter, like you know, why? I don't understand it.
But it's also like they wanna sit there and pair movies and shows with like handsome dark skinned black men with a white girl or Latino girl or something that is not, their black girl.
I'm like, why can't it be too strong, dark, chocolatey?
Right, why can't it be two strong people the lead characters of the show?
And it's not just white directors. Like, I know what a lot of y'all are probably thinking, oh, it's just white directors. No, it's not. It's really not.
No,
If
it's
you Google
black.
how many different
it's
black
not-
directors
it's
there
not.
are.
It hasn't been normalized yet. It's not a thing that people see. Like when Normani came out with her music video, and it starred that little dark-skinned black girl, and she was so grateful. Like she was so excited to see someone on the TV that looked like her. It was a music video, but I imagine things like that happen in real life because there aren't that many people out there.
And I mean, they people look at this as like, oh, well, if they're dark skinned, they must be, you know, non-American or African. No, that's not the case. There are a lot of beautiful dark skinned women that are African American that get shunned or pushed to the side.
And it's crazy because there are people out there that are black men that throw out, ooh, especially rap. Rap has to,
God.
when we talk about media, we gotta talk about rap. Rap music has to stop glorifying these exotic women.
Yes.
I was like, and then they talk about, I like a light skinned chick, but their mom's dark, their sister's dark. I'm like, wait, what?
Because I think in some aspect, because of, you know, how long this has been going on, I've heard a lot of people think, well, if I'm dark skinned and I get a light skinned chick, that means I've made it. I have arrived. It should never be a person should never be a status symbol, period. Especially not on that, like, oh, well, I want to date only light skinned people because they look exotic. There's nothing more exotic than a chocolatey, blue, black female. There's nothing more exotic than that. You go find one of these exotic women if you want to, quote unquote.
Because exotic is one of those words that I feel like could mean anything.
Yeah, it's a blanket statement. I mean, exotic meaning what?
That pertains to the person who says it.
Because you act like light skin is a rarity. It's not. That's not exotic.
But in like videos or whatever, they take it exotic into a total different way.
Yeah, like they're talking
Like,
about
they take it.
light skin. They're not talking about, oh, she's from like the Philippines.
She's not
She may
Ethiopian.
look like she did come from the Philippines because of her eyeshadow and all this damn surgery she had, but she's literally from the Bronx. No shade to the people from the Bronx, because, VX, what's up? But that doesn't make her exotic.
No. It's exotic to you, maybe, because you've probably never
But it's
seen
an
it.
insult.
But it's crazy. When I leave the country, I get so much love when I leave the country.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "You're from where?" I'm like, "I'm from the United States." And they're like, "You're from where?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's where I'm from." They're like, "How?" I was like, "Because that's where my mom's from, and my mom's from where I'm from, and that's."
Oh, shit. Like, no.
Like, as a black woman leaving the country, you do get a lot of love depending on where you go. Like, I've been to I like South America. I love South America.
Because they don't care. They're like, yeah, you don't get the same things that you get here. And I don't want people to think that when we're talking about colorism, we're just talking about one color or one shade.
Or even one ethnicity.
Yeah, like
Because
we're talking about all, and we should all be coming together, but we're all looking at each other and finding a way to put each other down. When I was growing up, I felt it because my dark skinned friends, well, so-called friends, y'all know who y'all are, but my dark skinned friends would be like, "Oh, you must be spoiled because you're so light skinned. You must have a lot of money. Yeah, we can't hang with you. Or you don't know what rap is. You're too light skinned for that." And then when I try to go to the other side, I'm like, all right, well, fine. I don't fit in with y'all. It don't make no sense. I try to go to the white people, and I'm too dark for them. I'm like, well, where do I fit? Because at the core of me, I am black.
there are some privileges attached to it. Though.
Yeah. That's what listen, light skin privilege is a thing. If y'all out there and you don't think so, go grocery shopping with one of your dark skinned friends. And y'all separate and you figure out who gets followed first. Or when the police get called, who do you think they're going to put in cuffs first? You or your dark skinned counterpart? I promise you, your dark skinned counterpart's going to get the looks way more.
He is eating it. Trouble is eating.
Do not eat the
I was like, it sounds like the cat is eating.
Come here.
It's eating things that the cat should not eat.
Tell me what you
Trouble
like to
just
make up.
living up to your name. I was like, I hear crunching.
Yeah, except then I got Angel's that sounds like she's eating it.
You don't need to go to the vet. So we need you to stop eating things.
Stop
that you shouldn't
eating stuff. See? Light skin privilege. See? What you think? Cause you white and you got like spots on you, you can just go around her eating the set. Like, what's wrong with you?
But it's like so hard to be not only like it's not like recognized, but to get respect for being a dark skinned woman, because you're gonna sit there and be judged or compared to another person.
That's another thing.
Like, I experienced colorism before I experienced racism. Because when you're younger, your like, young people are terrible. Like, young, like, our age. I mean, like, kids are
terrible.
Kids are terrible people. They say whatever comes to their minds, and it was like, your parents never had a talk with you, but you didn't, like, I didn't know I was different until someone told me I was different. Mm-hmm. And when you're a kid, you don't even have a self-esteem, but you gotta rebuild your self-esteem before you even know what self-esteem is.
Because you think something's wrong. And we got a lot of young girls that are out here now that someone told them the lie that you're black. Not the fact that you are black, but your shade of black is not beautiful. And unless you are another shade of black that is lighter, that you're not as good.
But we also have to think about, at one point in time, we were just hoping to find black people on TV. And the people that were in charge were white people. So those people chose the lightest black people they could find so they could be passing on TV and in these movies.
And that was a real big thing back in the day. When you could pass and people be bragging about it. Well, I passed because I'm this color. That's why everybody was like, I don't want to get, you ever hear people when they go to the beach, I don't want to get dark. You know, I'm gonna look black as hell. I know y'all all say that all the time. I'm gonna get dark as hell. And it's like a thing that you don't even think about until somebody says it.
And that was internalized into the Hollywood industry to the point where it was just a couple of years ago where we were seeing darker people show up on TV because that wasn't a thing. They were like, oh, just be happy that we put black people on TV or in the movies.
Like, no.
But it's like, I met this one lady, and she would always get tan because she wanted to be black.
But see, the thing is, like,
But I'm like,
you look at people that have paved, like, I don't want to say paved the way, but you see Naomi Campbell's and these different, you know,
Naomi
people.
Campbell is so beautiful.
She is.
She's
But
gorgeous.
it's one of those rare cases that they spotlight. Like, oh, well, she, of course, I mean, she's like 6 feet tall. She's a model. She can walk. She, you know, but you also have to think about all the other, you know, beautifully dark-skinned women that get passed up.
And you gotta try twice as hard to get
Yeah, I'm like, she
attention.
fought for that. Like, I know a lot of y'all are probably like, Naomi Campbell's a bitch. I've met her. She is not. She's amazing. But
She is an amazing
she's
person.
amazing. Amazing. But how many dark-skinned women went out for that same opportunity and got passed up?
And now there's like modeling agencies dedicated to black women, and I think that is amazing.
We need more of that.
I'm happy that like they sat there and they recognized and they started doing more for dark skinned women. Like we're gonna, since you know you're not getting recognized enough for the other modeling agencies, we're gonna sit there and definitely dedicate this for you.
Yeah. But I hope we get to a point, like, I hate the fact that this even has to be a thing. You know,
But it's
within
not
our own,
just in
like,
the black community, like you said. It's in pretty much
every
yeah. And it's weird because then you have Caucasian people who want you to be dark. Dark as possible. Like there's this thing, I forget what it's called. It's like a sun tanning lotion out there right now that it turns them like hella black to the point where it's blackfishing. You might be like, oh, I'm just showing appreciation for your culture.
It's insulting.
But
It's an insult.
It's an insult because you're saying they're basically,
You can wash yours off.
yeah, you can wash yours off, but
Yeah.
you're basically
Think
laughing
about
and
that.
you know, like it's just
Like,
It's blackfish.
I feel like they want the look without the experience to go with it.
I want to look black, but I don't want to get followed.
Yeah, I don't want to get followed. Like, when you get pulled over, they're going to look on your license and see that you are Caucasian or something that they are not afraid of. But when we get pulled over, we can't be like, I mean, look at my license.
And black women were at one point, I want to say there is some internalized hate even within the black man, if you're dark skinned. I've seen that in some instances that does exist. But even if you saw like that study where they did with the baby dolls and the little girls, and they would choose which baby doll was pretty, and it was most likely not the darker.
Yeah, and then their explanation as to why they didn't think that dark skin, she's ugly because she's so dark. You know.
Even the dictionary definition of black versus white is just little internalized things like that have negative connotations to
At one
another.
point, like this is way back, the definition was closest to demonic, dark, suspicious, things like that. And I'm like, how horrible is that for a little girl to look in the dictionary to find out what somebody's calling me black, and I want to look and see what that means, and this is the definition they get. Something negative. They, you know, well, that's what I am, so I don't want to be that more, which leads us to skin lightening. They just think I have to fix this. I'm wrong. I have something wrong with me.
we eat a lot of things that have been bleached to be white. They start out darker, and a lot of these things have been bleached to be white. I was like, that's crazy.
Ain't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
People don't even know. They don't even know. Read a book. Go out there and read and research some of the things that you do every single day.
Research your history.
I mean, down to the food we eat. It's like everybody has this standard that has been put out there for perfection. And no one's questioning it. Everybody's like, well, it must be
The
unfinished.
people that made the rules and created the structures in the society
ain't
that we
for
have
us.
today are not the people that are not the people that are suffering right now.
Right.
It wasn't made, like you said, it wasn't made for us. It's a
It's not
system
made for
that we've
us.
been fighting.
It's that top
For years.
1%. They not worried about the rules they're making because it doesn't apply to them. They ain't got it. They're just like, well, I mean, I guess here, sign this. Go ahead. You know, they're looking down here and inflicting these things on the people down there, not them. They
Like that's like when it comes to appropriation, like Kylie Jenner takes all the trophies. Kylie Jenner takes all the trophies. It's like the Kardashians evolved like Pokemon, and she took the trophy for appropriation. I was like, okay. And she has all these followers that are like, oh, she's so awesome. I was like, you love black culture, but what have you done for the black cause? You can't just go out here and like pretend to protest and just take it for the gram. You gotta be out here and doing things steadily.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be an ally or you're gonna appropriate black culture, you gotta be there for black men. I tell white women this all the time. I'm like, you like black men? You gotta appreciate the culture, but you also gotta advocate. There's advocacy that is needed.